gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Wrestling with Things. We wrestle with all sorts of things in sports and entertainment. And now, here are your hosts, David and Sammy Joseph.
We are going to have an NBA All-Star game in this abbreviated 72-game regular season. They agreed upon March 7th, looking to do it in Atlanta. So I've been thinking about, it's been such a unique, weird year, and I think the starting lineups for the All-Star team might look a little different than we usually think. But let me start off going here. I think even though they mix and match people now, I think the 5 All-Stars that should start and represent the East, I'm going to say James Harden, Bradley Beal, Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant, and Joel Embiid. I think James Harden, he's adapted so well, even though he started off slow in Houston and he didn't play in the East the whole time. But I think he's been so unselfish with the way he's been playing well, but playing off of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. He's leading the league in assists as well. Kevin Durant has looked like he has never been hurt in his life. He's looking phenomenal. He could say that he's the MVP so far. Jaylen Brown, I think he earned this starting spot, man. I think that's the one that might shock people, but I really think he should start. He took his game up, I think, 2 gears this season. And Bradley Beal, man, I don't care if his team's losing. You got to give him that respect. And Joel Embiid's playing like an MVP candidate in his own right. For the West is going to be monsters. I think the Stephen Curry, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron, and Jokic, I think those should be the 5 starters that represent the West in some fashion. Sammy, what do you think?
No, I definitely agree with the 3. I definitely agree with your Bale point, your Brown point, because Brown's been playing insane. Bale's been playing insane. Embiid, he's actually been playing like a real big man this whole season so far. So I'm definitely saying that, agreeing with those 3. But for James Harden, I would give Kyrie the spot instead of James Harden.
I respect that.
Because I just feel like Kyrie, since the season started, he's been putting on a little more monstrous performances than James Harden. James Harden has been going back to his passing, and he's been going back to a little more defense. But Kyrie, he's just been 39 after 39, 40. He's just been literally looking like how he was looking in Cleveland when he was playing with LeBron. So I'm definitely I'll swap him out, and then I'll just keep Kevin Durant and all the other names that you said the same, because I think we both agree those dudes have been the standouts of the East for sure. You know what I mean? And for the Western Conference, I like the Jokic, I like the Braun, because those guys have been playing like MVPs. So I'm gonna leave those guys there. I do like the Kawhi, I like the PG. And is that the 5? Did I find?
I had Steph. I had those 4 and Steph.
Yeah, I honestly don't even think I could disagree with anybody you said on the Western Conference, because Dame has been in and out. I can't really. Yeah, I agree with your points on both sides for the most part, except for the Harden thing.
Yeah, that's fair. I definitely think those are those should be the starters. Obviously, fan voting's involved. One probably gonna get snubbed some way somehow, unfortunately. But especially that Jaylen Brown one, I think he's been put out of his mind, and I really want him to get that spot. But let me play devil's advocate. You're absolutely right for just a tiny bit. I respect the Kyrie pick. I will buy him as an all-star starter, but I have to play devil's advocate. He missed a handful of games when he was going to the personal issues. Now, when he has been here, you're right. He looks like he's even better than his Cleveland championship days. But would you consider that working against him a little bit?
I don't think you can do that, only because when he has been here, it's not like he's been somebody who's just been going off with like 19 and 18. You know what I mean? If he was performing like that while here, then we would, definitely be like, hey, we can't do this. But come on, man, this guy, the way he played against the Bucks, the way he played against the Clippers, those contenders, like it was out of his mind.
Yeah, that is fair. It seems like in the most national televised and important matchups, he shows up. He at least gets his numbers, and that's hard to do playing with two, really great superstars with James Harden and Kevin Durant, because everybody was saying Kyrie was going to be the ball dominant one, but he's playing well in the flow of the offense. We got to give him props because people were slandering him a lot for his behavior. But when he's been there, he's been an elite guard. Like it's been fun to watch, man.
He's been looking like a top 2 point guard. He legit. When he comes and plays, he actually looks like a top 2 point guard out there. It's not like he's been underplaying it or looking slow or looking stuff like that. No, he's been looking like some nights he's looking like the best guy on the Nets.
Yeah. That's a really good point, actually. Some nights he's looking like the fourth quarter go-to guy. But let's dabble in slightly with the bench. Are you seeing any like first time All-Stars to make it on the bench in some way, somehow?
For first times. Devin Booker.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Devin Booker definitely has to be in there this time. They're winning games. You know what I mean? And he's not, and he's also playing good ball while they're winning games. Even though some nights, Chris Paul's been looking great. DeAndre Ayton might even be able to get in there too. As a
big, because you're gonna need one or two bigs at least.
Yeah, he might be able to sneak in there because he's been playing like a double monster. You know what I mean? And for the East, we definitely went with Bill. We both agreed on Bill.
Damn, it's crazy. Bill never made one before, right? I don't think he has.
Yeah, I think he's been getting the snubs.
Wow, man, that's crazy to think.
And oof, maybe, man, this is tough. You think Fred VanVleet has an argument after what he just?
He will. I do think he'll get a good He'll get a good amount of consideration for the bench. I can't see it, but I do think he'll get a lot of consideration because people around the league respect his game. He balls up for the Raptors.
Man, what about I'm gonna go with this name for the no. Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon?
Do you think Aaron Gordon? He's not on the bench anymore. Do you think Aaron Gordon can get in there?
He has a shot to make the All-Star reserves. Yeah, I think so. He has definitely a shot. But I was thinking, I think the Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton one are definitely some most likely candidates. But I was thinking, believe it or not, Zion. I think Zion, we kind of, we're taking his numbers for granted a little bit. I know the Pelicans aren't winning, but I believe he's averaging at least 25 and like 7, and he on like 57% shooting. That's an all-star caliber stat line. I think Zion will make it for the first time.
Yeah, he definitely slipped me because of the fact that they're not winning, and I expected them to be winning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I expected them to at least be in the middle of the pack, and somehow, I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know if it's a coaching thing. I don't know what
they have. No shooters. That's really the problem, man. They have no shooters, man. You got Zion, who's mostly a bully. You got Ingram, who can make the three, but he's not. He's more of a ball handler and he's not a knockdown shooter. Lonzo has improved, but he's not a jacker. It's like JJ Redick is like their main shooter only.
The only
it's bad over there, man. And their defense as a team isn't the best. But I think. Go ahead.
What about Zach LaVine? Do you think this year?
I was going there. I was going there, right there. He did the same way I feel about Bradley Beal. I think Zach LaVine has had an argument the last 2 years. This guy's really good. Like, he could score at all three levels. He could pull up from 40. He got range on his three. He could dunk on you, obviously a dunk champion. He could handle it. He could pass a little bit. I know you can't. There's certain people you gotta forgive them for not having the W's. He's on a lottery team, man. When you're on a lottery team, you can't expect somebody to get 40, 50 wins. He's doing his part. He's being the number one offensive force on a team that needs him to be. I definitely think he should be an all-star reserve. I was going there next.
I feel so bad for him every time I see his stat lines and every time I look up what he's doing, because it's just like, man, all he needs is a different location. That's all this guy needs. Listen, you are right about that, and not to cut you off, but this is how good I think Zach LaVine is. If there was some way somehow in the universe that the Warriors could get Zach LaVine to play in place of Klay Thompson with Steph Curry, they would be a threat in the Western Conference. I'm not saying he's Klay Thompson, but he does a lot of what Klay Thompson does for you, minus the perimeter defense mostly. He can be like a splash brother type player playing alongside a Steph or a Damian Lillard. That's how good and deadly he is. People don't realize it. Or what if he, somehow got his way to like a Washington or like a Milwaukee or something? Oh man, a Milwaukee would be dangerous because he's better than, in my opinion, he's better than Holiday and Middleton. I would give Chris Middleton up for Zach. I would do that. Even though he's a little smaller, but I would do that. I would definitely do that. I think he raises your ceiling of how deadly you could be because you gotta game plan for him more. Yeah, and he's an in and out guy. He can kill you inside, he can kill you outside if you allow him to. Chris Middleton, he's more of he's gonna shake you up, he's gonna dribble around you and then give you that shot. But inside, he's not really somebody who would be considered deadly. You see what I mean? Yeah, that's an excellent point. He's not really a threat in the paint like that. But yeah, definitely those key ones. Keep an eye on that. I definitely want to see Devin Booker and possibly DeAndre Ayton. I expect at least two of those dudes in there. But let us know what you think. Let us know who you expect to be in the All-Star game. Don't forget to subscribe to us at YouTube at Wrestling with Things.